Social Security has always been this topic of like, will it exist? My answer has always been like, well, for the people that are close to it, there's a really good chance that it's going to exist. For the younger people, it may go away. Now, we're getting closer to this point where, in theory, Social Security is going to run out. And so it continues to be talked about, and people continue to ask that question. Plan based on what you know. So we know certain amounts of Social Security. We know they're supposed to come in at a certain time. Plan around that. And if you want to protect yourself a little bit more, maybe be a little bit more conservative in your planning and run some analysis or make some assumptions that maybe half the benefit will only be there, or what if the benefit goes away? What would that look like in your situation? We run this analysis for most people because if you're married and one of your spouses passes away, one of those income sources, one of those Social Security income sources goes away. Now, you can continue to take the higher of the two, which is fine, but one of them will go away. So if you were receiving $4,000 a month and your spouse was receiving $2,000 a month and you pass away, your spouse's Social Security goes from $2,000 to $4,000. So if you maintain the same living expenses, but you have one source of income that's no longer there, that could jeopardize your financial situation. So you have to have some protections there, and that may be life insurance, that may be just having more than enough, that may be reducing your spending. So there's just lots of different ways to plan for it. Inflation has been a hot topic for quite some time now, and we do get asked the question like, how do I deal with the inflation? Inflation is a piece of the planning process, but there are lots of different pieces of the planning process that come together to create we'll call it a roadmap to what your finances look like in the future. All of those things can and will change. And so what we do is we put a conservative assumption on your investment returns, on your inflation, on your spending, on your life expectancy, and create a plan around that. And then we have the ability to pull some different levers and see what the impact looks like and make sure that you're able to withstand a change in inflation. So if you're living off base income of Social Security and maybe have some other assets and inflation kicks in, then yes, you might have to reduce your spending at some point in time. It just may be a factor. Like there may be no other way around that. But if you think about the last couple of years in terms of market returns, like they've been way over and above averages. So there's things that come together that help you protect against inflation. People tend to forget that what is happening now will not always be the case. So there's this focus becomes on one variable a lot of times when there's several other variables that have to come into play to develop a plan to make your money last. Required minimum distributions is a question that gets asked all the time, and the age has gone up higher over the last several years. It was 70, it was 73, and it's going to be 75 soon. A required minimum distribution is basically what the government tells you have to take out of your retirement accounts once you hit a certain age. And what's important about that is that when you take money out of those IRA accounts, assuming it is a pre-tax account, you have to pay taxes on it. Depending on where you are in your income journey with other income sources, or where you are with other assets, investments that may not be in retirement accounts, they have an impact on the taxes that you pay when you pull money out of retirement accounts. Required minimum distribution will become larger if you have a shorter period of time to take it out. So if you're pushing the age back to age 75 and you're basing it on a life expectancy, in theory, those distributions will be greater than they would have been if you started taking your required minimum distribution out at age 70. You just had a longer period of time. So in theory, those RMDs were lower. Now, they've had some more time to grow tax deferred, which is valuable, but taxes become a large part of the equation when you're talking about RMDs. Like we have some situations where people have done a great job saving. They've saved a lot of money and it's all in these pre-tax accounts. They're facing really, really large tax bills when they pull the money out. And it's not only the taxes you pay, there's other costs like Medicare premiums go up when you have higher income at certain levels. And so there's all these factors that it can impact. So what you want to do is you want to think about your situation. And if you're younger and you're not required to take out these minimum distributions, start pulling them out. Even if you're 60 and converting to a Roth IRA, like that's a big deal. You can take it out at a lower tax rate, put it in a Roth IRA, allow it to grow tax-free. It'll reduce your future distributions, and you may even be able to pay a lower tax rate if you do it smart. We're talking about it all the time. It becomes complicated, and there's moving parts that are involved, and so we do a lot of work around that for you. We're very aware when we're looking at situations for you is of where the IRMA brackets change and being conscious of increasing those. So we'll take it right up to the line for you and then stop so that you don't increase to the next level. You need to be aware of different things that are happening inside of your situation to make sure you do it right.